They're the invisible engines of our modern world. I mean, think about it. From the phone that's probably in your pocket to the car in your driveway, batteries are just everywhere, silently powering our lives. But have you ever really stopped to wonder how these little boxes actually work? How do they manage to capture and release energy pretty much on command? Well, let's unlock the chemical secrets behind these little marvels of engineering. It sounds like something straight out of science fiction, doesn't it? But in a way, that's exactly what a battery is. It's not just some boring object, it's a container of controlled, powerful energy. It's a miniature, tamed lightning storm, just waiting to be unleashed with the flick of a switch. So, how is any of this even possible? Well, the secret isn't magic, it's chemistry. Really elegant, powerful chemistry that converts stored potential into actual, usable power. At its very heart, a battery is just a masterpiece of electrochemical engineering. To put it simply, you can think of a battery as a tiny, self-contained power plant. It doesn't create energy out of thin air. Instead, it cleverly converts the energy that's already locked up inside chemical bonds into a flow of electrical energy that we can actually use to power things. Okay, so how does this chemical engine actually run? Well, it's all about creating a controlled flow of these tiny charged particles we call electrons. Let's break down the machine that makes it all happen. Imagine two towns. The anode is a town that is just overflowing with workers, and in this case, those workers are electrons. The cathode is another town that desperately needs them. The external circuit, that's your phone or your flashlight, is the highway the workers travel on to get from the anode to the cathode. But there's a catch. For every worker that leaves, a positively charged ion gets left behind. So to keep everything moving smoothly, an internal ferry, the electrolyte, transports these ions, making sure the whole system stays perfectly in balance. Now, the process that actually makes this electron engine go is called a redox reaction. You can think of it like a two-part chemical dance. At the anode, you have a process called oxidation, where material gives up its electrons. Then, at the cathode, you have reduction, where a different material accepts those very same electrons. This relentless push and pull is basically the heartbeat of the battery, driving the current forward. But as you know, not all batteries are created equal. There are two key terms that define how they perform. Voltage is kind of like the water pressure in a hose. It's the push behind the electrons, and it's all determined by the specific chemical materials used inside. Capacity, on the other hand, is like the size of the water tank. It's how much total energy is stored, which really just depends on how much active material you can pack inside. The history of the battery is really the story of our unending quest to pack more and more power into smaller, lighter, and more efficient packages. It's an incredible journey of innovation that has totally shaped the world we live in today. So our journey kicks off way back in 1800 with Alessandro Volta's voltaic pile, which was really just a simple stack of metal discs. Fast forward over half a century to 1859, and Gaston Planté gives us the first ever rechargeable battery, the lead-acid cell that, believe it or not, still starts a lot of our cars today. But the real game changer? That came in 1991, when Sony introduced the lithium-ion battery, and with it unleashed the entire modern era of portable electronics. And just look at the difference here. Lithium-ion wasn't just a small step up, it was a massive leap. It can store 5 times more energy for its weight, it can last 3 to 5 times longer, and it's so much lighter. This is the technology that untethered us from the wall, putting supercomputers in our pockets and electric cars on our highways. This chart really helps you see that leap. We're looking at energy density, basically how much energy you can cram into 1 kilogram. Lead acid, the old workhorse, sits down there around 41. Nickel metal hydride, which powered a lot of early hybrids, more than doubles that. But lithium-ion, it just opened up a whole new level of performance. It's the reason the mobile revolution was even possible. But, as we all know, there's a downside. Every single battery, no matter how advanced, eventually wears out. It's one of the most frustrating things about modern life, but don't worry, there's a chemical reason for it. Man, we've all been there. That brand new phone that lasted all day now barely makes it to lunchtime. So why does that happen? Well, the answer is that a battery is a really dynamic system, and it's slowly breaking down with every single use. I want you to think of it like wear and tear, but on a microscopic scale. With every single charge cycle, tiny little pieces of the anode and cathode physically crumble away. That electrolyte ferry we talked about, it gets sluggish and its pathways get clogged up with useless chemical gunk. Over hundreds of cycles, this slow, steady decay just adds up. and the battery simply loses its ability to hold a meaningful charge.
But the story doesn't end there. The same relentless innovation that brought us from lead acid to lithium ion is now tackling this very problem of battery degradation, and in the process, pushing the boundaries of what's even possible.
Okay, one of the most exciting frontiers is the solid-state battery. Today's lithium-ion batteries use a flammable liquid electrolyte. The holy grail for researchers is to replace that liquid with a solid material. This wouldn't just make batteries way safer, but it could also unlock even higher energy densities. We're talking longer-lasting devices and much longer-range electric vehicles. So the goals are crystal clear. Researchers all over the world are working to create batteries that can charge in minutes, not hours, last for thousands of cycles without fading, and are built from cheaper, more abundant, and sustainable materials. This isn't just about getting better phones, it's about building a more sustainable energy future for all of us. So the next time you plug in your device, just take a second to think about the incredible chemical engine you're holding in your hands. The quest to perfect this tiny power plant is honestly one of the most important scientific challenges of our time. Because mastering the art of storing energy isn't just about convenience, it's about unlocking the future.